Hello, everyone. I hope
Hello.
everyone is at their screens. I hope everyone is back because I think a lot of people have started their sessions early on. So please start your cameras so I know that everyone is on screen and we can begin our session for today. It's a very interesting new topic that we've taken on for this new year and all about truly understanding the pursuit of happiness, which is something that we started talking about last week. I don't know how many of you had a chance to attend the session for last week. If not, please access it so you all know what it's about. And we spoke about something that is so general, which is happiness. At the end of the day, we speak about relationship goals, money goals, career goals, and you ask anyone, you ask from a millionaire to a beggar on the street, what do you really want? Some people know right away that all they're looking for is happiness, right? They're like nothing. Either their answers will go to peace or happiness. I want to be happy. मुझे शांति चाहिए. And then there are a few of us that are so involved in the hustle of life. We're still hustling. Hustling is great, by the way, but we're still hustling and still looking for so many answers. We're so in the middle of the situation. So this could be me being very, very worried about my relationship, which is going a million places or going nowhere. This could be me frustrated with my job, not understanding how to make progression with it, what to do with it. So when someone comes and approaches me and asks me what I really want in life, tells me, okay, you can have anything. If God were to grant you anything you would like, what would you want? Now, there's nothing right or wrong with it, but when I'm in the middle of my issue, very, very entrenched in it, my answer will generally be something very short term, something I want now, something that is instant. So I want my boss to understand me. I want to feel better. I want to have more time in the day. I want to be able to go to a on a holiday, whatever that might be. Right? But any answer that if you really, speak to them for a full 5 minutes and understand what they're truly looking for, will be happiness. They want to go on that holiday. They want their boss to understand them. They want that promotion. They want XYZ. Eventually, because they want to feel settled, happy, like things are easy for them. Now, the pursuit of happiness is something that we spoke about last time. No reason happiness is something we've spoken about in the module, spoken about in general. But the one thing that we spoke about, which we want to lead from today, is that when we're looking for happiness, it could be in a million things. But if we were truly to find happiness that is not dependent on a particular reason, X happened to me, hence I feel happy. Because what happens with that equation is that X will keep changing. And as that changes, my equation of happiness keeps changing. When a situation doesn't change as well, what happens is something that makes me extremely happy now simply cannot hold that same magnitude of making me as happy after a certain point in time. It's just how it is made. It is just the fluid nature of life so that we learn how to truly progress ahead. Simple examples. I'm very hungry. I'm eating my favorite meal. It makes me so happy just now. But after 20 minutes, I don't feel that same level of happiness eating it because I'm done with it. Some could call it shallow, right? Like you were waiting for this for so long, and now that you have it, you're like, huh, ho gaya. Like, वो समझने जाओगे, they'll be like, wow, like it came and it's gone. And you chose to, like, you're just like, I'm done with it. Good. It was great for the first 5 minutes. Now I'm done. Right? You go to a kid and you're like, oh my God, like like you'll hug them, you're so happy to spend time with them, or like a relationship or anything, right? And then have them around you for the next like 10 hours. You'll be like, can you just go for some, like, can I just have some time? I have toddlers, right? So I truly experience them. I love them like nothing before. But they will come and go, Mama, 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 Mama. And like to the point that you're in the bathroom also, they want to show you stuff, and you're like, you know what? You got to understand. Mama's coming back in 5 minutes, just going to make her happier and you happier. Let's just do that. Anything at all that you'll pick up cannot, like, you're excited about receiving a parcel. You get it. You open it. You're super excited. You use it the first time. The second time, you're very neutral with it. So how then can we constantly stay happy? One is I can constantly keep looking for reasons to make me happy, which is actually what a lot of us want to do. That's what a lot of us start doing. And that's the reason we find it difficult to be happy, because how many things will I find to really make me happy, right? That also in a mindset where I'm so used to finding things that are not right or things that are not going the way they should be. Remember, survival of the fittest conditions us to find the faults in everything so that we can correct it and we can get better. We can upgrade ourselves. That's how phones to any company to anything works, right? Make an amazing phone, and 1 month after that phone launches, start looking for problems in that phone so that you can correct those problems and launch a new phone. That's how our system of upgrading also works, right? Get my best version, and after 1 month, start looking for things I can improve. Unless I'm constantly already on a journey of self awareness and self happiness. So we find something that makes us happy, we get really happy. After some time, we get okay about it. And now we feel like, oh, I'm not feeling as, like, if I'm waiting for that, rush, that endorphin rush that I want, then I will look for the next thing. But the one true way to align to our happiness, to find happiness to be something that is self generated and not situation generated, that happens when we align to our purpose and when we truly allow ourselves to build our virtues. Because we're here to pursue our virtues. We're all here on a journey of growth, on a journey of self evolution, on a journey of spiritual growth. And we all know that, right? We come with a certain purpose in life. We know that in different ways. मैं कर्म चुकाने आई हूँ. I've come to resolve these karmas. So I have my purpose designed accordingly. Or when we know the concept of higher self, we say, I've come down with a life purpose. This is what I'm here to resolve. Different notions and ways of understanding it. But simplified, if I must understand it, how is my life purpose, or the karmas I'm going to resolve, or the people I'm going to have in my life, or the family I was born into, what basis is all of that decided on? The basis that all of that is decided on is that we as humans, on our journey of evolution, why is the human form considered supreme? Ego is completely human based, wherein we feel like, oh, I'm the most powerful being or the most evolved being, because we're not. Simple reality check, we really are not. Plants are some of the most evolved beings you will see, because they take very, very little from to be born, to be nurtured, to live their whole life. They need water, they need sunlight, they need soil. Simple. Love would be great, but I will not not talk to you, not generate any flowers, etc., if you don't give me that. I will do what I'm supposed to do it happily, and when I'm done, I'm good. When I'm done also, I will give back. When a plant dies, it gives back so much. So throughout the plant's life, it is giving oxygen, fruits or flowers or whatever else it gives. And when it is done, when it dies also, it gives. A plant, if there are two plants, they will not compete. I want to grow bigger than you. I will look flashier than you. They are only concerned about their own life journey. तुम्हारा करो, मैं मेरा करता हूँ. Finished. And if we can help each other or help the human who is interacting with us, तो वो भी कर लेंगे. तो कौन ज्यादा evolved हुआ, humans or plants? 100% plans. Humans, while they're here, they're like, how can I take from you? When they go, how can I take from you? Everywhere there is calculations going on. Or even more supreme, right? Ego driven. How can I give to you so next life में मेरा कर्म इतना अच्छा होगा कि मुझे ये सब मिलेगा. Calculation based पे है, मतलब गेम खत्म. You see so many people, I can't take, I have to give, I have to give. Why? नहीं, मेरे को पुण्य मिलेगा, मेरा अच्छा कर्म बढ़ेगा. जो कैलकुलेशन आपसे इतना बड़ा है, यू कैन वी कैन नेवर टेक इन आवर हैंड्स बिकॉज इट इज मच बिगर देन अस. However, why is the human form something that in every religion, every scripture, it's like a coveted life form, right? Everyone wants that human form. We talk about evolving through different lifetimes, through different forms to reach that human form. Why? Because in the human form, you're given the power of emotion, intelligence, even ego, that sense of self is something that is meant to help us in our journey. It is the only form where we can remember our connection to the divine, to the creator, to knowing that we are made of that light. We're not less than, we're not more than, we are the light. And in this form, we have the ability to be able to process emotion and hence to master virtues. So we're here to, like, like they say, we're all, honestly, when we teach the theta class, we talk about the planes of existence and what our journey through the planes is, what our original form is, why no matter any religion, anything in the world, why all of us pray to God. Like, what is God, or what are these ascended masters, Christ, Ganesha, or any God that you really pray to? Because we all come from the fifth plane, we're all children of the ascended masters, but it's like you're born with unlimited magic inside you. But as a child, if I give that magic to you and you don't know how to use it, you're going to misuse it. It's like any of those shows you might have seen on TV. For Indian television, there was Shararat, where they were fairies and they were given that power when they were 18 years old. Or you see a Western telecom like Sabrina the Witch. Basically, if you have unlimited power where I could say something and it'll happen that minute, I need to make sure I'm giving it to you when you know how to use it correctly. Or in an ego battle or just fighting with, you could say, something, and that person could be in a very injured or dangerous state. So we are sent on this journey of mastering our virtues, and we're here to master virtues. Now, virtues, when I'm talking about mastering virtues, I mean, there's so many virtues. The virtue of patience, virtue of compassion, virtue of acceptance, virtue of forgiveness, virtue of resilience, virtue of responsibility, virtue of kindness, virtue of forgiveness, virtue of honesty, right? Virtue of patience. So many virtues. There are hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of virtues that are there. That we decide in our human forms, we're going to master these virtues. And to master these virtues, so every lifetime before we come down, we decide, let me pick 2 or 3 virtues I'm going to master in this lifetime. Much like picking a movie script, right? There are lots of messages I want to convey to my audience. I can't convey all my messages in one film, right? If I want to convey bravery and, Desh Bhakti and all of that thing, I might decide, listen, these 3 things can be clubbed together. Right? Let me make a movie that is based on, a wartime and how that person is brave and, has that loyalty towards a nation. Loyalty is another virtue. Let me club these 3 and make a movie. Then I decide I want to make a movie about family values and trust and responsibility and, compassion. So then I will decide, let me make like a family-based movie. Let me go the Karan Johar route. Right? Based on whatever virtues, I will decide to club the virtues and actually go together. and decide, okay, this is what I wish to accomplish in this time. So in order to accomplish it, what does the backdrop need to be? What do the characters need to be like, and where will the main character fit? Very similar is our life. So before every lifetime, we decide, this life, let me accomplish these virtues, this combination of virtues. And to do that, because it'd be great learning one thing, or seeing one thing portrayed through a movie would be good. But you will see most movies have 2 or 3 running themes that are there. Any movie you pick. Because that just makes it more impactful. So we also, before we come down on this earth, decide with our higher self. Our higher self is our own level of consciousness, that these are the virtues that I will go down and master this time. Now to do that, so for instance, I decide I'm going to master responsibility, the virtue of responsibility this time. I want to also master honesty and also master kindness. Now you might decide to be in a situation where you really do not have a lot of things already handed to you on a silver platter, because that is the situation which will muster you up in a manner where at a young age you decide, I'm going to take responsibility for things, I'm going to start doing it, I'm going to be earning for my family, I'm going to be providing for that. Now along the way, because you've been dealt a hard hand to start with, you might become very, very honest and blunt in your approach. There you will have certain fallbacks and shortbacks also, wherein you will realize that this is breaking a lot of my relationships. I also need to learn how to master kindness in this life. Then you will go on a learning curve of how to balance that responsibility, that honesty, that kindness. And when you learn to balance these 3, you can really thrive. Is this making sense to everyone? If there's any, sort of place where you're getting confused, and put that on the chat also, okay? But you will see, generally we'll pick that culmination of things. We want to speak about virtues to you also. You can understand the basis of why we are here and how we can make our lives easier by truly aligning to the virtue we're here to master. When we do the higher levels of theta, we realize what are the virtues we're here to master. Now, the more virtues that we're mastering, we say, no, mujhe mera purpose kya hai, nahi pata hai. I want to be more aligned to my purpose, to my higher self. Now, our higher self is a much higher level of consciousness of our own being. All right. So now it obviously operates at a much higher vibration than us. And in order for me to be aligned to that high level of vibration, I need to make my vibration high. If I want to match a certain radio frequency, I need to match it, right? So as we are going to master more and more virtues, our thoughts also become lighter and lighter. Our frequency becomes higher and higher. The lighter something is, the higher it can float. And we feel more aligned to our higher self, which also again in turn makes it easier for me to be aligned with my true self and not get caught up in the drama of why, what, how. All right. And we say, while we are on this journey of mastering our virtues, we definitely have one thing, a lot of things to overcome, which are our vices. So vices will be the negative things that are there: jealousy, anger, resentment, fear, worry, etc., that are there, which keep my thoughts and vibrations lower and lower. Why do I have vices? मेरे को virtues pursue करने हैं. Why do I need vices in life? It's much like, why does a movie, when I've decided this is what the movie should be about, this is what my star cast, the director decided, right? This is what I want to portray in the movie, this is my story, why does a director ever pick a villain or a problem to solve in their movie? There'll either be a physical villain, a character, or a couple of characters who are villains, who will throw challenges, or who will be negative, so to say, or they will decide that there is this situation which is extremely hard, a negative which has to be overcome. Generally, they will pick some sort of villainous thing. Why would a director do that and make their job very, very difficult? I could easily direct a movie. Why should I make it difficult by putting a villain in the mix? But you have, if you see that if there's any movie where there is no negative, no villain, nothing. Think about any movie plot that's in your mind. Okay, think of a K3G, think of a Hum Saath Saath Hai, think of an Uri, whatever movie you want. If the negative wasn't, what would the movie be about? How would I bring out the actual story? So in the whole movie, they're a happy family, they're living together, movie finished. What is the story? How do I remember the lesson? What keeps me, if you watch any series also, if there's an what keeps me glued to a series or a movie and makes me want to wait for more, want to understand more, want to see more? When there is that vice and there is a virtue and there's a combination, and you see how no matter what happens, this virtue rises. When there is day and night, I value each more. So a vice or a villain is not a negative in my story, it's a necessity in my story. Why? And in human evolution, why do we choose that? We pick it because agar mujhe sab positive, or I just want to float up. I remember where I come from. I remember that there is a higher consciousness in me. I feel that energy. Now I get so hooked to it. I just want to be in that higher. I just want to keep floating in that high energy. Right? But my learnings are here. I need to take my learnings here. So we will invite certain vices, certain things we have to overcome. I need to overcome these 3 vices to be able to master those virtues. It's like a test. I need to overcome those difficult questions to be able to be a master at it. I could know everything, but I do need to overcome that to reach here. Like a black belt, I need to overcome that test to be able to do it. And when I do it, I have truly mastered my virtues. I can't master my virtues just going like, oh, this thing, responsibility, responsibility, love, love, love. That's not how it works. So vices are also the negative thoughts, the negative feel. When I am constantly in a low mindset, in a negative mindset, just think of yourself as a feather. The heavier my thoughts get, the more I am in my vices, the more focused I am on the problem as opposed to the solution, the more I am caught up in my own story. नहीं, but कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. The more I am in a victim mindset. But the more I think about how can I actually pursue my virtue, what can I do towards it, I am in a lighter mindset. Right? So that is the simple virtue to vices equation that we have that we need to overcome. We're going to also speak about certain virtues, and I'll give you an example, then I'll read through what is there in the chat as well. Let's talk. Now, compassion is actually quite a big and long virtue to speak about, but I'll at least touch upon it today. Because we speak about gratitude, forgiveness, and if this is something you truly all want to discuss and enjoy, then we'll discuss a few virtues along the next few weeks as well. What are the virtues? What are the challenges that come in the way, and how can we overcome it? Right now, Sahil has asked, how do we know which virtues we have picked for this life? So in the much, much higher levels of the classes, we actually have exercise, because you've also released that many blocks that you're ready to hear it, that we go and we connect to what are the virtues we're supposed to overcome and where we've reached on that journey, what needs to be done. We do that in the Theta Planes of Existence class. But I would say, other than anything else, also, like if you had to look at it where you're not yet over there, look at, maybe your biggest challenges and what is the opposite virtue of that could be there. Like if I'm constantly getting, challenged or aggravated by something, then what is it that it's really wanting to teach me? Because that could be the vice I'm fighting to master the virtue that is at the opposite end of it. It's like a bridge I need to cross to get there. So, is my virtue to learn acceptance of myself? Is my virtue to have compassion? Is my virtue to have self belief? If you don't even know the correct answer to it, you can still, because see, there are certain virtues we have also already mastered through the lifetimes. So you will see there are some people who can actually very easily handle certain situations. Something that might aggravate me very easily. If someone speaks to me in a disrespectful tone or something, I feel very, very hurt, and then my mind is constantly there. I feel, how could they speak to me like that? I can't focus on anything, and I just am so demotivated and I don't feel like doing anything. Whereas there might be another person, another colleague, another family member I have. They have the same boss or the same parent. But उनको वो चीज का इफेक्ट ही नहीं होता है. You'll see so many times and you'll say, they're made only differently. Somehow it doesn't affect them only. It's not like they're not caring people. It's not like they're not. But this, when someone speaks to them in X manner, it doesn't process for them. उनको फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता है. क्यों फर्क नहीं पड़ता है? They might have already mastered that virtue of maybe, self-worth, of self-knowing. Now, when I have already mastered that virtue, what happens is I am here to learn different things. ये मुझे आता है. So it doesn't affect me at all. You see so many people, they'll say, oh, you're a bad boy, you're like this. And उनको वो चीज affect ही नहीं होती because they know who they are. So they can say whatever they want. They don't feel bad for you also, and they don't feel bad for themselves also. They are focused on their goal, which could be something completely different. So please remember, when we do the planes, we actually connect people to the virtues they're on the process of learning, but also the virtues they've already mastered, and bring those forward. Because when those come forward, they have the strength to do a lot more things. These are things you've already learned. It's like you get back to learning after many, many years of school. I just need to, rewire your brain to remember what all you already know. Because then you might pick learning something wherein these skill sets can be useful. In the class, we learn how to bring forward virtues ancestors have mastered, we have mastered, all of those things. Okay. Now, I'm going to speak of a simple virtue and compare to a vice so you can understand that better before we wrap today's session, do some downloads. All right. I'm going to speak today about the virtue of compassion. Does anyone know what compassion means, or any idea of what it means to you? Anyone on the chat, what does compassion mean to you? And there's another comment on the chat saying, if everyone comes with a few virtues to handle, why most people don't remember them or are aware of their sole purpose? Because most times we get so involved in the drama that we are involved in the why did this happen to me, but why only me? But I am suffering. We get in that whole point of victim mindset. What I told you, I have the game of virtues versus vices. If I am mostly in the vice, then it's a negative funnel from there. Now I'm constantly focusing on everything going wrong over here. I am very focused on the script and like on the situation, sorry. And I forget that the movie was about something else. It's like you see a movie and you're so focused on the villain that you're wondering why the villain is like that, why they did this, I hate this villain, he's like this, he's like that. Not realizing that he is just here to play a 10-minute role and he needs to go. So people then, the minute I get very engrossed in what is wrong as opposed to what can actually be learned or changed, I get so involved in that process, and which is why so many times some learnings we have to take, some virtues we are yet to master. That virtue, instead of mastering it in this one lifetime, We spend lifetimes mastering it. Where do you think our karmic patterns also start from? I chose this star cast. मैं एक बार में अगर वो चीज सीख जाती, I would have learned it. This chapter would have been completed. But we got so involved in the drama, you and me, that now I also don't want to give up. You also don't want to give in. So we don't learn what we're here to learn, which was to respect each other or to find a middle ground or to have compassion for one another, whatever our learning was. And we continue that one learning lifetime after lifetime. So many times in a past life, we're looking and we go like, they have this lifetime since they have this pattern since 5,000 lifetimes or 200 lifetimes or so many lifetimes where we're refusing to learn the lesson because we just want to keep going with that drama. The drama is more important to me than the learning. You see it even in situations sometimes. Someone asks you, but what do you want from this relation? You don't want to see that. You're just like, no, it's not about what I want. You should know what he did to me or she did to me. They did this. So what happened is someone is saying, आगे जाओ. You're saying, लेकिन मैं आगे कैसे जाऊँ? पहले see what all is wrong in my life. Why am I even doing that? I want to show you that, see, I am right. I am justified to feel like a victim or to feel this way. But that is when we start disconnecting to our soul purpose, because I spoke about higher self being at a higher vibration, right? Now that vibration is so far from where my vibration is, which is caught up in my problem, that I don't remember it because it's very far. So I don't have it's very far away. I don't have a recollection of it. And that's the very simple way of really putting it. Okay. I hope that answers your question, Sahil. And let's see. So, what is compassion, understanding, kindness, overall kindness, love for everyone in the universe without any partiality towards anyone or anything, showing or feeling sympathy and concern for others without expectation. Okay. What do you think might be the one simple everyday thing that gets in the way of compassion? Anything that comes to your mind, share it. I'm going to tell you what compassion is. It's a culmination of some of the things that you all are saying. Is compassion the same as love, everyone? No, yes, I see nods for both. Patience being tested comes in the way of compassion. Give a hug to someone when needed, lack of acceptance. Compassion, actually twisted around, could be seen as that, because compassion means it's almost like you could say Jesus practiced compassion. It's very easy for me to love you, to understand you, to be there for you, to do all those things when things are going right or things are going of the way that I envision. Compassion is very, very huge. Unconditional love could be one way of calling it. Compassion is also somehow knowing and understanding and accepting your truth for what it is, being able to have that love for you in my heart, irrespective of the situation, irrespective of how I feel about it. It is about having that compassion for you. So I need not be in that situation. I could have a problem with that situation, but if I'm compassionate towards you, I can have an unbiased, neutral love to respect whatever it is to offer you, no matter what. Now, what gets in the way of this compassion? So, compassion is loving without judgment, showing kindness without judgment, acceptance without judgment. The minute judgment gets in the way, right? I see a person now, like you might see, right? I tell you to have compassion for your neighbor who is maybe struggling currently in life, and you will say, yeah, no, and we start with like this: we like, poor guy, he really needs this. Not realizing that even when I say that, and I feel like I'm saying it out of love, but there is an aspect of ego involved, superiority involved. And the minute I say, poor guy, there is a judgment in, right? बट चलो फिर भी आई एम डूइंग द बेस्ट आई कैन टू मास्टर द वर्च्यू. मुझे पता नहीं है, फिर भी आई एम स्टिल मैन. आई हैव दैट जजमेंट बट आई एम मैनेजिंग टू फॉर go beyond that judgment and give that compassion. Now that will vary from person to person, right? You will see a person who, a terrorist maybe, who's terrorizing people, and then you will see him fall down, right? Will you have compassion for him? Or is the first thought that runs through my mind, he deserves it? And if we are in a different mindset, you'll see there will be people, and specifically so many times in India, we write a whole thesis on why he deserves it, what he did, why he should have been punished, how he should have been punished, everything. You see a person defaulting bank money or defaulting a lot of people's money, and then you hear about them having a problem in the newspaper. So I'm telling you simple examples. You read about this in the newspaper, and you're like, uske saath acha hua. XYZ, you have a whole theory around it. Right? I'm talking about specifically, right? People who have done something which, in my judgment, is negative, is bad. They've defaulted a bank loan, it's a rapist, it's a serial killer, it's a terrorist. So, in my mind, I have a judgment for them. Can I offer compassion to them? It's extremely hard because my judgment gets in the way. So many times, अगर मैं कर्मा के perspective से भी आपको समझाओ, right? You see of the times that you're sitting with a group of people, or you're chatting or gossiping with someone, how many times you will see that a lot, it doesn't happen to everyone, but a lot of people very often will be discussing a third person who has nothing to do with them, who they has done nothing personally to them. They have not personally harmed you. Now, if, for example, X person has personally betrayed me, and then I talk about it, at least because it's a personal experience, we are talking about it because it comes from that space of hurt, or that space I need to heal from. But for example, I'm talking about, the Pakistani people who did XYZ. Okay, I'm talking about general biases. Nothing against it. Or I'm talking about the, this, like about Nirav Modi, who, defaulted so many people from them of their money. Or I'm talking about, Kasab, who had, done the terrorist attacks. That person has not personally done something to me. Or I'm talking about somebody in the market who I have heard is going through, a divorce, or is going through XYZ. When we talk about those things, so when I'm talking about the virtue of compassion, a big vice which I have to overcome to master that virtue is judgment. Understand, any vice is not a negative thing. Judgment is not a bad thing. Judgment, when used correctly, a villain, when entered correctly into the script, is invaluable. Like, they are what makes the whole story shine. Okay, you watch a wartime movie, if the war wasn't there, movie किसके बारे में बनाते? ठीक है? So any vice, any villain in the correct amount is a savior. So judgment is actually a very useful skill to have, because it gives me the correct judgment of a person, of a situation, about when to speak, about who to speak to. Judgment, when I temper it correctly and use it correctly, when I use that spice correctly, it might also be called discernment. Isn't it? You need good judgment in life. But when we use that judgment too much, it becomes a vice, it becomes something that derails me. Now, to master compassion, what I really need to work on is my judgment. When I look at it, even from an overall perspective, or how is it affecting karma, I always tell people, we can do all the good in the world. But if we spend our free time discussing somebody and discussing something negative about a person who has done nothing to you personally, Aren't you tying a lot of knots of karma needlessly with somebody? Zarurat nahi hai, and I'm tying karma with them by discussing negative things about them. So let's learn how to master compassion. I think it's one of the very baseline things that are there. When I feel compassion, it's not only towards others, I'm saying compassion even towards ourselves, which is something we struggle with so often. Something I can forgive another person for it. Now, like you can see, compassion will automatically tie into virtues like kindness, forgiveness. We speak about how some virtues are upper and have a lot of virtues stacked under them. Automatically, you master a big virtue, you master all the mini virtues under it. So, virtue is a very, very detailed topic that is there. However, compassion बोल रहे तो automatically kindness, forgiveness, acceptance, so many things will come in it. Love. So we sometimes think that I can forgive another person for, we struggle to forgive ourselves for or accept ourselves for. So if we're talking about practicing compassion, a major vice to overcome is releasing judgment. I say start with yourself. Before you build up to the point of releasing judgment for things in the world, you can always at least halt yourself in your tracks. Why are these discussions important? When you understand this, halt yourself in your tracks when you see yourself having a hollow conversation about somebody who has nothing to do with you. Is it necessary? Even if I'm having that conversation wherever I am lending judgment, is that necessary? Because the minute judgment is involved, emotion is involved. There is something positive or negative I feel about it. We speak about energy, right? What is energy but just a charge, a positive or a negative charge? Electricity jaise chalti hai, positive and negative charge. That's all there is to it. So the minute until I'm neutral about something, this happened. Nothing wrong with saying yes, this happened and this shouldn't have happened, possibly. But the minute I feel something, that is charged about it, positive or negative, I'm lending energy to it. Anything that is lent energy to in my life becomes part of my entire equation of how my life is running and how my lifetimes to come are running. So when I catch myself in the act of maybe doing that, and it will happen because it is something that we've done for so long. When I see myself doing that, can I halt myself and say, stop, is this necessary? Or can I talk about something that actually just, positively charges my environment, uplifts me and the people around me? Can we do that? Can we start with, releasing judgment of ourselves and just lending some compassion, some love, some kindness to ourselves and those around us without needing a reason to do so? To be able to have no reason and still have compassion, to have no reason happiness, is mastering so many virtues that overall it's a complete sense of bliss. So today I leave you all with that thought in your mind and hoping that it can inspire a few actions and just let you know better as to how these virtues are working in our life. I'm going to do a quick download before we wrap the session today. So would you each like to know the creator of all that is his definition and perspective of compassion? To know what it feels like, how to, when to, and that it is safe and possible for you to experience compassion within your life, for you to be able to nurture the virtue and the value of compassion within your life, to know that it is safe and possible for you to have compassion towards yourself and towards those around you without the fear of hurt, without the fear of judgment, to know that it is safe and possible to release judgment and to align towards the love, the acceptance, the joy, the compassion that you hold within your heart, and to know that it is safe for you to Open up this magic box of compassion to truly feel that light, to know that you are made of the light, and to know that it is safe for you to feel the light that you're made of, to know that it is safe for you to share the light that you're made of, to know that it's safe for you to shine with the light that you're made of, to know that it is safe and possible for you to shine with compassion and live your daily life with compassion and joy, that you allow yourself to live your daily life knowing that you deserve compassion, that you are compassionate, and that you allow yourself to share compassion freely, joyously, and knowing that the universe has nothing but unconditional love for you, to know that you are special and that you're here for a reason. And a big part of that reason is the love and the light that you're made of, and that you allow yourself to feel it for yourself and to share it with the world joyously and happily, to align to your virtues and your lighter thoughts as you progress ahead in life. Would you each like these downloads into every cell, atom, molecule of your body, every area of your life, at all four levels of your belief systems, and in any and every language ever known or understood by you, for your highest and best and in your highest and best manner? Simply say yes to receive the downloads. And with that, I hope you each get to experience compassion today within you and from around you. Know that you're made of compassion and unconditional love. It's just a twist on unconditional love. So it is something that's a part of you, and it's possible to tap into if you just allow it. Okay, feel it within you, feel it around you, and actively see how you can practice it, because actively practicing it is where you are mastering a virtue. And any thoughts that are light thoughts take us towards our virtues. We automatically align to it. Have a great day, have a compassionate day, and we'll see you next.